Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I know many of you have submitted questions, and I will try to answer some of those questions in my statement today. Every day brings new angles, especially as we are focusing and expanding the search area. And as always, we have a responsibility to release only information that has been corroborated and also verified. We cannot respond to every request immediately, so I ask you to bear with us. As the Prime Minister said yesterday, the operation has entered a new phase. The search was already a highly complex multinational effort. It has now become even more difficult. The search area has been significantly expanded, and the nature of the search has changed. From focusing mainly on shallow seas, we are now looking at large tracts of land, crossing 11 countries, as well as deep and remote oceans. The number of countries involved in the search and rescue operation has increased from 14 to 25, which brings new challenges of coordination and diplomacy to the search effort. This is a significant recalibration of the search. The search and rescue operation continues to be a multinational effort, one led and coordinated by Malaysia. In the last 24 hours, the Prime Minister has spoken to the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the President of Turkmenistan, the President of Kazakhstan, and the Prime Minister of India. Yesterday, the Foreign Minister of Malaysia briefed representatives from countries along the northern and also the southern corridors. At 2 p.m. today, the Foreign Ministry of Malaysia briefed representatives from 22 countries, including those along the northern and southern search corridors, as well as other countries that may be able to help. These include Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, China, Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and Australia. Malaysian officials are requesting support from these countries as well as others. This support includes general satellite data, radar playback, both primary and secondary, provisions for ground, sea, and aerial search, and assets as appropriate. We are currently discussing with all our partners how best to deploy assets along the two search corridors. At this stage, both the northern and southern corridors are being treated with equal importance. We are asking countries that have satellite assets, including the US, China, and France, amongst others, to provide further satellite data. And we are contacting additional countries who may be able to contribute specific assets relevant to the search and rescue operation. Surveillance aircraft are required and maritime vessels are needed, particularly for the southern corridor. As the Prime Minister said yesterday, up until the time the aircraft left military primary radar coverage, its movements were consistent with deliberate action by someone on the plane. I cannot comment on speculative theories as to what might have caused the deviation from the original flight path, as I do not wish to prejudice the ongoing investigation. I understand the hunger for new details, but we do not want to jump to conclusions. Out of respect for the families and the process itself, we must wait for the investigations to run its course. The Malaysian authorities are refocusing their investigations on all crew and passengers on board MH370, as well as all ground staff handling the aircraft. Yesterday, officers from the Royal Malaysian Police visited the home of the pilot. They spoke to family members of the pilot, and experts are examining the pilot's flight simulator. The police also visited the home of the co-pilot. According to Malaysian Airlines, the pilot and co-pilot did not ask to fly together on MH370. I would like to stress that Malaysia has been working with international law enforcement agencies since day one. Malaysian Airlines has confirmed that aircraft was subjected to the required maintenance program. The Boeing maintenance planning documents prove that. Checks are done according to this program, and the aircraft has been fully serviced and was fit to fly. The Inmarsat team arrived yesterday and will support the investigations team, which includes the Malaysian authorities and the UK and the US teams. I would like to conclude by reiterating that the search for MH370 has entered a new phase. The information released yesterday has provided new leads and given new directions to the search process. We will provide more details on the redeployment of assets when it becomes available. Facts must be corroborated and verified before being released. When possible, we will keep the media fully briefed, but our priority remains the search and rescue operation. To that end, we have engaged in diplomatic and investigative efforts over the past 24 hours. The Prime Minister mentioned yesterday the refocus because of new information of certain equipment being intentionally turned off. And I believe the police, the IGP himself, have, in the last 24 hours, as I stated in my earlier statement, have started intensifying the study. That doesn't mean that we have not studied the manifest list earlier, but Tan Sri, maybe you could elaborate on that.
Well, in light of this new development and findings of the technical team, we have classified our investigation under Section 130C of the Penal Code. This provides investigation into offences of hijacking, sabotage, includes act of terrorism, and also all offences under the Aviation Offences Act. So that covers everything. So and that means that we are intensifying our investigation. But the focus remains the same.